Hello. Many of you know that I've been writing another book, and this book is focused particularly on self-compassion. And I've been learning a lot about self-compassion and taking better care of ourselves. I stumbled upon a really neat nugget that I wanted to share with you today. And it's based on the first two noble truths of Buddhism. Full disclosure, I am not Buddhist. I do not practice Buddhism. I'm probably not even Uh, I definitely not an expert on Buddhism, but the perspective that I learned as it pertains to these two truths, I think is applicable regardless of religious affiliation or what you're dealing with in your life or your belief systems. The first truth of Buddhism is life is dukkha, and it's translated most commonly as life is suffering. But I learned that dukkha is actually literally translated as a will that's off center. The center of the wheel is out of sync. And so therefore the wheel, when you're riding in a cart, is going to be off center, and it's going to make the the cart be bumpy. It's not going to be a very smooth ride. And so the first tenet, or the first noble truth, is that life is not going to be smooth sailing. That life is going to be bumpy. It's not going to always jive. There will be times when life is wonderful and blissful, and then there are times where we're going to hit bumps in the road. We're going to hit potholes, and it's going to be really challenging for us. The second tenet, or the second truth of Buddhism, is that life is caused, or suffering is caused by our desire for things to be different than they really are. It's a thirst for, or a desire for, things to be different than they really are. And so when we put those two together, life is going to be bumpy. Life is going to have struggles along the way. And our suffering is caused when we expect that the road is going to be smooth when it actually isn't. Suffering comes when we have these expectations in our mind, or these desires that things be a certain way, and then they're not. And then we end up suffering. So when I put these two together, life is going to be bumpy. There are going to be hard things along the way. And the suffering comes when I am wanting that to be different. It's not bad for us to want things to be different. Of course, we want the road to be smooth and wonderful and blissful. But the truth is that that's not how life is. And so when I can get into a place where I accept that there are going to be bumps along the road, and I can even prepare for them, I'm going to be in a much better place to be able to find peace and joy and love in my life. And in fact, I might even find a way to look forward to those bumps in the road so that I can learn more about myself and how I deal with these challenges and struggles that I encounter in my life. The other part is that we're all along this road together. And so we're all experiencing these potholes and these bumps in the road together. And sometimes I might hit a part of the road that's smooth and has no bumps, but my buddy or my family member or my loved one is hitting a road that's really pocked with giant potholes, and they're having a really challenging time. And so because I know what it feels like to be able to ride along in a bumpy road, I can have compassion and support for them as they are going along in their journey, and vice versa. I just wanted to share that with you. It's something that I'm going to be pondering and thinking about more of, and maybe you can ponder and write what your thoughts are about that below. Thanks. Have a great day.